Today on KRIM's Community Spotlight, with us live in the studio, Tina, Craig, and Andy. How the heck are y'all?
I am the heck fine.
Good. And I'm afraid to ask, but Andy?
Splendid.
Splendid. And Craig?
Doing good. Excited for the summer to get started.
There you go. And actually, there's some really good reason for you to be excited, especially as it pertains...
Movies!
Andy's excited. Down boy. He's excited because this weekend you actually have some big name movies coming in, and it sounds like things are really getting back on schedule now.
It's turning now.
Yeah.
The summertime is here, and this is Memorial Day weekend's always a big one, but things are returning to normal. It's still kind of slow, I guess, but we're the whole country. I think we're all ready to get back to normal.
Yeah, except for a couple of states. I was just in New Mexico. Yeah.
They ain't ready.
They refer to their governor as Wuhan Luhan.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
that's kind of buggy.
Yeah, she's not popular right now.
Yeah, that's not hard to understand.
She and the governor of Michigan.
Oh gosh, yeah, there's another one.
The tyrants. Yeah, right.
We're looking, movie-wise, we're looking, New York and
Enough with
California.
politics.
But here it's good. Here it's good.
New York and California are the big ones, and
Right.
they're both. I think California, June 15th, they're going to go fully open again.
Wow.
New York's open. Theaters are getting back open, so that's all good for us.
It's just good to see the sports venues are back
starting to fill back
into
up,
no social distancing and stuff. It just looks like normal is right around the corner.
Once again, we can watch girls softball.
Did I never stopped.
I never started.
Yeah, that's okay. I did enough for both of us. Now, as far as big name movies, now one of them that starts today at the Sawmill Theaters is Cruella.
Yes.
And all about Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, but this is like kind of the story about how she became cruel.
Yes.
Ella,
Yeah.
or
How she came to dislike Dalmatians.
Dark spotted dogs.
This
Like
is
disliking dolls and clowns, both of which I dislike.
yeah.
No, Dalmatians?
Dalmatians. Yeah.
Just Dalmatians.
Yeah, just Dalmatians. How? I mean,
You gotta
really.
come watch it. It'll make sense.
Yeah.
Now, is this a live? This is a live
Yeah,
action.
it's like
This
live
is
action
not
with Emma Stone.
Emma Stone is playing Cruella.
Cruella. And it's PG-13.
Superb Emma Stone.
Yes, we were
Yeah.
talking with Andy before the show today.
Andy's sweet on Emma Stone.
And kind of a closet Emma Stone admirer.
I'm not a
Closet
closet
admirer.
admirer.
He's out of the closet now. Okay.
But it's a PG-13. So
Right.
I don't know if you want to be bringing 5-year-olds. It might be a little.
Right.
I mean, it is Disney, so we're not going to be seeing it's nothing too crazy going on.
Right.
But it is.
But the
PG-13.
evil side of Cruella might be a little scary for the little ones.
Yeah. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, and now this is Disney.
Yes.
And Disney, they've had some rather profound changes in focus over the past number of years.
Oh, they're big jerks.
But other than that,
No, not other than
don't
that.
candy coat it for us,
no,
Andy. Tell
they-
us what you really
They've
think.
gone all woke.
Oh, they're woke.
Oh, they're so woke.
Oh, we don't care about that. They've been jacking around my movie guide.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
in.
Oh, yeah.
This is all Disney's right in the middle of the streaming wars.
Oh, okay.
And this is just.
So the heck with the
Yeah,
theaters, we'll
because
just
I
put it
saw
out online.
Cruella was on
Disney
Prime.
Plus.
Or
Disney Plus.
or whatever.
That's kind of bug you as a theater.
Yeah.
Well,
it's terrible.
I think you have to pay $30, on top of having the Disney Plus subscription. But yeah, well, sure. This is traditionally there was a 90-day window between the theaters and the studios,
Mhm.
and with the plague, they just kind of dropped that whole thing.
So if they put this out where you can stream it online, you have to pay $30 on top of your regular
on top of your
subscription.
subscription, yeah.
And
So
I
you
wonder
should just go to the theater
I
and see
wonder
it on
how
the
that
big screen
worked. I mean-
and have popcorn
Right.
and support the theater.
And you might run into Andy and Tina.
It can happen.
They're trying to drive. Warner Brothers has done the same thing. They're streaming stuff this year too.
Also,
But I wonder
jerks.
if that can come anywhere close to the same as the box office receipts during a non-pandemic time. I mean, how many people are going to... I personally, I would wait a number of weeks before watching it if I had to pay $30 even to watch it in the comfort of my own home.
Well, I think they're kind of testing those waters.
Right.
Yeah, it is all new, so they're not really sure. But they're also trying to drive up their subscriptions, their content that way. Everyone's looking at Netflix with, I think, 200 million subscribers.
Yeah.
All paying them $10 a month. That's
That adds up.
crazy money. Yeah, and Disney's all about money. So They're looking at that, but they all are. Paramount's doing it. Warner Brothers is doing it. Hulu, I saw. Hulu, or not Hulu, Roku.
Roku.
The streaming sticks, but they're starting to make their own.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I use at home,
Right.
because everything at my place is online. And I have to say, that's really been kind of neat. I kind of like the transition.
Well, you can go see Pitch Meeting. You can watch oh my gosh, on YouTube. Pitch
Let's
Meeting.
tell everybody.
It's our favorite crazy movie snark
Okay.
thing.
I like snark.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh, it's
They're good.
wonderful.
They're good.
Yeah.
It's just kind of making fun of.
Of everything.
Some of the major plot holes in movies that you don't really, think about when you're watching the film, but
Right.
it just goes in and picks them apart. It's
And it's pitch meeting.
It's called Pitch Meeting, and it's hysterical.
So this is
It's
a series of.
It is
Oh, yeah.
it is a guy
Hundreds of them.
who interviews another guy who is actually himself, who is pitching plots to this would-be producer, and just some of them are that you've seen, that you even like, that you even thought were cohesive.
Right.
I mean, he's brilliant because he just finds these like Craig said, little holes or
big holes.
or big holes. It's like, well, what about this? Well, never mind.
I don't know.
I don't know.
How in the world could that possibly happen?
When you hear us say that in that tone of voice, that comes
Right.
through.
I don't know.
I don't know. All right, I will check that out.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's on YouTube.
I don't. One of the things I found very we'll actually get back to talking about movies here in just a second. But one of the things I've become very disillusioned about when it comes to television programming is the complete void of anything worth watching. I mean, I'll watch some of the performance competitions, The Voice and things like that. I kind of enjoy watching some of that. I'll watch sports and I watch the news and that's it. I mean, the dramas and all of that. It's like, I got enough drama in my own life. Don't need any extra. And most of the stuff is, I mean, they're just. It seems like they're
You're not a
pandering to.
fan of The View?
Oh no. Matter of fact, that I come awful close to shooting my TV occasionally.
That's been
All of us did.
Yeah.
that's been
Enough for him, good enough for me.
That's been a complaint about Hollywood for some years.
Yeah.
Is, original content.
Mhm.
Just kind of doing remakes and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, now with all this original streaming content, we're just going to dilute that whole creative base further.
Or
I mean,
will it
how are
push
they
us-
going to
Yeah.
fill all these
Right.
several streaming channels
Mhm.
and Hollywood and get that all
Right.
anything new? It's just going to.
It's funny you should ask that particular question.
Because Andy has the answer.
Coming up soon is Fast and Furious, whatever it is.
57, isn't
Nine.
it?
Number
nine.
Number nine.
Number
Fast and Furious
And,
number
and that
nine.
doesn't, I don't think that includes the
Number nine.
spin-off,
Hobbs and Shaw.
yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
Actually, I think it is.
I
I
went
think
back
it
to
does
the
include that
stock,
one.
so
it includes
I think
that
it
in the
includes that
nine.
one.
yeah.
Nine.
Nine.
And that's, we were gonna talk about blockbusters here a little bit
Yeah.
later,
Yeah.
but,
That's
these Fast and Furious movies,
I guess
what,
we just.
nine, I think they're up real close to $10 billion.
So I mean,
People like 'em.
There's something about driving fast and crashing and all of that kind of stuff that people find entertaining.
You know what, I hate myself for even saying this, but I have enjoyed most of those movies.
Right?
They're
It's a
hokey.
guilty pleasure.
Yeah, they're hokey, they jumping
Yeah.
car from one building to another building, things are just completely
But
impossible.
they're fun.
They're entertaining though,
Well, and it's like
Even Island.
for that matter, Mission Impossible. I mean, some of those there were some stunts there that I don't care how creative a spy you are. Chances of you trying any of that is just nuts.
Well, Fast and Furious takes it to another level. They're just,
Right.
yeah, like I said, the one they do, they jump a Ferrari from one skyscraper out the
Well,
window,
don't we all?
across to the next skyscraper, through that window, and of course, land all safe and sound and keep driving through the building.
Right.
The way I would do it.
And they don't even spill their martini.
Yeah, exactly. They're only do
It's
that.
shaken, not stirred.
That's right.
They're only do if someone's falling and they drive their car under them and they land on the car instead of the ground, and somehow that's supposed to be better. But
Yeah. Meanwhile, back in reality. Well, now as far as blockbusters, again, this Cruella from Disney is supposed to be this is going to be a big movie that
Yes,
should get a lot of
definitely.
attention.
Oh, definitely, yeah,
And you
definitely.
got a second one today that starts at the Sawmill Theaters as
Yes,
well.
yeah, another big one. Quiet Place 2.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's Emily Blunt. Yeah, the sequel.
Oh, we saw
Yeah.
the number one, and I was under the seat. It was so scary.
Maybe you shouldn't drink so much before going to the theater.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But there are monsters in this. It's a PG-13 though, so it's
Right.
not real. It's not a slashing thing.
Yeah.
This one's at a 74 on Metacritic.
Wow. And
It's really-
that's a big number for
It's
Metacritic.
a suspenseful.
Yeah, it's more of a
So it's a psychological thriller.
Psychological, yes, yes. And the monsters are really bad monsters.
And if I understand correctly, the general premise here is that there are alien monsters that come to Earth, and as long as you're really quiet, they don't bug you. But if you make a noise,
They're
they
attracted to noise.
and
Yeah,
then they come to
can't
rip you apart or
see,
whatever. And then
but they can hear.
and somebody in this movie is going to have a baby, and
Yeah,
you know,
so, yeah, in the
typically
first
during
one-
the delivery and then after the delivery for several months, quiet is something that doesn't always happen in that kind of situation.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and this one too, I guess they're going a little bit more into. This is 3 months after everything had started, so some of the threat now is more, other people, other humans, and there's good guys and bad guys. But yeah, and this is, this is Paramount, and grateful to Paramount. They're giving us 45 days on this before they're streaming.
Oh, good.
So this is exclusively in theaters.
Remember that, Paramount are not big jerks.
all right,
Yes.
they give you a month and a half to make money first. I like it.
Yes.
And do we have any numbers, Andy, as far as how much these movies have cost?
Not a
you?
one.
Not a. It's more than $1. So.
Slacker.
That's right. But I mean, when you talk about Disney and you talk about Paramount, these are big dollar productions.
So these were ones that were delayed. They didn't want to put these out when we were in a situation with a bunch of theaters closed.
Right. Makes sense.
Corona.
And that's why I said. That's why California and New York have the bulk of theaters in the country.
Now, you also mentioned though that aside from having two big movies that start today, it looks like we're kind of at the beginning of getting back to normal with movies coming out routinely, as opposed to
they're
this
gonna be
past
coming-
year and a half or so has been I think a technical term is
Canceled.
a blooper.
Canceled. Canceled.
That's right.
Canceled.
But a lot of things too. Of course, the studio sent us out posters and
Right.
marketing materials, and for a long time I didn't have any. I'm starting to get posters again.
That explains all the crayon sketches that I saw.
Yeah, that's
pretty
much.
Yeah,
we joked about it a couple times. Do our own. But that's again, it's just a positive sign that the studios are seeing things starting to turn, and they're increasing their marketing.
Very cool. Now, to round out the slate today, I mean, again, we have Cruella and Quiet Place 2 that are starting today. And first of all, Quiet Place 2 plays at
1:30, 4:30, and 7:30.
Yeah, okay, and then the
Cruella is 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
gotcha. All right, what else is playing to round out the slate?
We still got Wrath of Man.
Oh, there you go.
Jason Statham.
Right.
That's been there for 3-4 weeks. I'll be leaving next
Has that
Thursday.
been doing pretty good?
It has. It's done well. Steady, but yeah. Well.
Yeah, and this is not exactly groundbreaking territory, but in this particular movie, Jason Statham plays a tough guy that dispatches oodles and oodles of bad guys.
Sounds like fun.
That's it.
That's it.
It's,
Beat 'em up. I like it.
Yeah,
Get your inner frustrations taken care of.
if you're just happy with that, but I
Which I
expect,
am.
well, I am to a point, but I expect more from Jason and also from Guy Ritchie, who they made the absolutely superlative Snatch, which was hysterical and funny, and Brad Pitt has a whole part in which all his lines are completely incomprehensible except one word. Right, me ma'am. And I wanted more because Guy Ritchie is very snarky, and Jason channels that for him.
Mhm.
But then I remembered that Guy Ritchie married Madonna, and so that's got to kill everything, right?
It's just a bad batch.
It's
He did.
sad,
Guy Ritchie did The Gentleman last year.
Oh, yeah.
and
It's so
and it
good.
was perfect Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah.
Really funny,
Right.
horribly violent,
Yeah.
quirky, clever,
Yeah.
and none of that is true of this Jason Statham
It's
movie.
just kind of zombie-esque.
But it's on the other hand, you get to see Jason Statham shoot a bunch of bad guys, and that's not a bad
And
thing.
that is a
You know,
redeeming quality.
that way, yeah. But I mean, that is literally the whole movie.
Yeah,
Well, if you've had a frustrating week and you're kind of just really at wit's end, this might be a great movie for you.
Frustrating year,
Well, that too.
you know.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Yeah.
Greg will just be sitting in there, yeah, get up, get up. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see something terribly violent,
Mhm.
Spiral is still there from the Book of Saw.
Oh, there you go.
You know, and
That's rated R.
Oh yeah.
This is
Yeah, and you know, we're talking blockbusters. This is the 9th Saw film. That franchise has just passed $1 billion.
so obviously, I mean, isn't it an interesting statement sociologically speaking?
It's
isn't it?
icky.
Yeah, well, I mean, but what is it that, what is it that, and going back, to, my era, just right after the dinosaurs died, I mean, how many iterations of Texas Chainsaw Massacre did they come out with? I mean, there is some, apparently, we have some kind of deep-seated inner hostility that is gratified by watching this kind of.
If you go back to the 80s, remember they were doing horror films.
Right.
American Werewolf in London, The Howling.
Right.
And they were, a lot of it was kind of pushing the limits of special effects, which those were kind of, but those were some brutal films too, and they were just trying to push the envelope.
Well,
And
I
Saw is one of
remember
those.
going back to the 60s with the Pit and the Pendulum.
Oh, Vincent
Price.
Price.
Vincent Price.
Yes.
Now, there's a guy who he's just scary looking.
Oh, and by the way, just as an aside,
Uh-huh.
he was a chef, and he wrote several cookbooks, one of which I just picked up at my mother-in-law's house, who unfortunately passed away this last weekend. But my father-in-law collected cookbooks, and there's this great, beautiful gold leaf and everything, Vincent Price. Big.
One of the negatives on that though was he was always talking about everything that he made in there always had to be served with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
No, that's Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, all right, so,
He was great, though.
We need to make a distinction between movies like The Quiet Place,
Yes.
which are suspenseful
Mhm.
and I mean just absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, riveting.
And then movies like Spiral, which are kind of disgusting and vile. They're not suspenseful. You know pretty much is what's going to happen. Your only tension in there is to see exactly how far they're going to go down the road into disgusting stuff. And if you go back far enough, back into to the days of your childhood, there was a movie called Mondo Cane,
Oh, I saw that.
which pretty much was
Yeah.
like a 60s excursion
Right.
into the disgusting.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
It
It was worldwide disgusting.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good. So,
No,
I mean,
so-
I
so
liked
the-
it then. I'm not sure I like it
So
now.
so these
Yeah.
you asked a minute ago about what's wrong with us. Well, whatever's wrong with us has been wrong with us for a long time.
Well, go
Sure is
back
that.
to the gladiators in Rome. I mean,
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. That was just fun.
Here's the word du jour, abattoir.
Ooh,
Yes.
good one. Good
Yes,
word
yes, I'm
usage
telling
there,
you, I'm
teacher.
bringing in word du jour. And that's a slaughterhouse. It's a bloody, just, all over the walls and floor and everybody in it,
Right.
slasher place.
It was-
And Spiral is an abattoir movie.
Yes,
right?
it is. Yep.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
I think it was equated to a roller coaster. I mean, some people
Oh,
don't
yeah.
like roller coasters,
It's
but
good.
it's just. And what's the point of it? I don't understand roller coasters. I don't want to be scared.
I'm with you.
And it's kinda the same with watching-
Earl.
I'm on the other end of the
Yeah.
spectrum. I like a good rush. When it comes to a good ride, I mean, that's, sign me up.
Yeah. No,
But
I'm with
you're
you.
going to watch one of these thrasher films, and especially like Spiral, where it does take it over the top. It's just,
Yeah.
blood, and it's not like sci-fi blood. It's different. This is more, real blood. And it's just,
Yeah.
I don't like
It's
that.
violence
Yeah,
porn.
again, after
Yeah.
doing 20 years of disasters,
Murder porn.
I've seen enough.
It's,
I can't watch movies like that because it
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
It's not true.
I'll give you an example of the difference between good clean fun with oodles of blood. There was what's his name, Jackson, that did the Lord of the Rings.
Peter Jackson.
Peter
Peter
Jackson.
Jackson.
Peter Jackson, as a very young filmmaker, one of the first films he made a zombie flick in Australia, or New Zealand. I'm sorry, in New Zealand.
Right.
And it was a fun, it was just a fun zombie flick. But in one scene, they used 400 gallons of fake blood.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, I think they used all
Apparently they killed a big fat one.
they used all the fake blood in New Zealand, I think. And it's not scary, and it's not even disgusting. Because it's so crazy that it's just
it's campy.
Yeah, it's campy. It's
Remember
just
that word?
yeah.
Camp?
It's just fun.
Those,
I can't remember the name of the movie, but I can't remember a lot of stuff. But in this
Tuesday, for instance.
yeah. What? In this movie Spiral, the bad guy puts a victim in a situation where he has a machine rip his own fingers off, or he'll die. So you get to watch this guy allow his own fingers to be ripped off his hands. I mean, it's
that type of.
yeah. It's not campy. It's not fun. It's not tongue in cheek.
And it's not a movie that you want to be serving finger food. Sorry.
Did you see Ash versus the Evil Dead?
Yes. That's fun.
And there were scenes on there where they used gallons and gallons of fake blood, but it was kind of hard to say fun. I mean, they were killing zombies and stuff, though. So it was it was fun though. Not gross.
When I think of fun,
And they're making jokes while they're doing it too.
When I think of fun in that kind of context, I hearken back to Monty Python and the Holy
I
Grail
was just
and
gonna
the
say.
nights that go nyeh.
Bring us a shrubbery.
Now that was fun.
The Black Knight.
Yeah,
Black
and
Knight.
they've got like some
it's
little
only a
pump attachments where it's like, it's just a flesh wound.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the way they had blood and spurting.
What are you gonna do? Bleed on me?
I gotta go watch it again just to refresh my
Bring
memory.
out your dad.
Yes, indeed.
I'm not dead.
Put him in the down room. He soon will be.
I'm feeling much better. Well, anyway, but we digress.
Well, we're all Monty Python fans.
We know the line.
So, just out of curiosity, what else is playing at this time? Just to round out the thing before we run out of time.
Those Who Wish Me Dead,
Right?
and then Claudia with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh, okay.
Claudia with a Chance of Meatballs is a
So
classic.
you've got some good kids.
Yes, those are $5. $5 or $10, and then we give you a small drink and a small popcorn with it.
That's tomorrow morning.
I know.
No, that's every day.
Starting Claudia with a Chance of Meatballs starts today, 12:30, 3:30, and 6:30.
Cool.
Hey,
What about
when Longest Day coming in?
Longest Day is June 5th. That's a week from tomorrow.
tomorrow?
That's our veterans fundraiser.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're out there for
Yeah,
that.
$5 to get in, and that all goes to our local veterans.
Right.
Yeah, and you really get your money's worth. It's like 3 hours long, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 hour long movie. Yeah, we're gonna. There's gonna be a full color guard there.
Lunch, right?
I think we're gonna have a couple of World War II Jeeps brought in.
Yeah.
Oh, super.
Yeah.
And some of the local politician luminaries.
Yeah, we're-
Walt Blackman.
Oh, he's a
right?
good guy, yeah.
And
Is he coming?
perhaps Paul Gosar.
Nice.
It sounds like Walt will definitely be there.
Maybe Wendy Rogers.
Well, I don't want to say definitely on anybody, but Walt Blackman probably, and we've heard Gosar might try to make it there.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah.
All right, now we're actually just about out of time. We're going to, for those of you that are watching along with us on Facebook Live, we're going to continue on for another half hour, and we're going to be talking about blockbuster movies. And it's kind of interesting when you look at the biggest blockbusters of all time, what movies are in that list. There might be some surprises for you. So if you have a chance.
No, I'm
Not
very
for you.
familiar with them.
Not for you.
I'm gonna be surprised.
You're a hometown movie guy. Of course, it's not a surprise. Anyway, we'll be sticking with you on Facebook. But right now, we got to get back to more of your favorite music here on the radio. Got some tunes coming up from Van Morrison, Billy Joel,
Little Feat.
Kenny
Little
Wayne
Feat, play
Shepherd,
Little Feat.
Mountain, and a whole bunch. And what else? am I
Batman in
talking
the bathtub.
about?
With the blues.
With the
Fat
blues.
Yeah, give me a copy of that.
Batman in the bathtub with the blues. They don't write songs like that
I
anymore.
tell you.
I just put us right into the weather after that.
Oh.
All right.
Remember Fear and Loathing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Where he's in
yeah.
the bathtub with a White Rabbit.
Yes.
The ones that throw the radio in there and kill him right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, oh yeah.
That wonderful sound when the rabbit eats its own head off.
It's they have that grapefruit, knocks the door, runs out.
All right, so now talking about the biggest blockbuster movies of all
You can
time.
turn your back on a knife, but you can't turn your back on a drug.
There you go. Meanwhile, as far as blockbuster movies, one of the things in talking just before going on the air today that you mentioned, Craig, that I thought actually made a lot of sense is, we were listing, we have in chronological order here, the biggest blockbuster movies of all time. We'll talk about how much money they've raised. Like, for instance, at the top of the list, Avatar there with just shy of $3 billion, 2.847, and that movie came out in 2009. It's the top of the list of blockbuster movies. But the point that you brought up, I thought was pretty wise, was that
As usual.
as surprising as that might be, that Sound of Music, if that was adjusted for the current
Gone with the Wind.
or Gone with the Wind,
Yes.
same diff. I mean, both of those. But they're all both old movies. No, but I mean, if you
What kind of interviewer are you?
crappy, in a word, crappy. No, but if that was adjusted for
Inflation.
inflation and everything, both those movies would.
Those are, another one is 101 Dalmatians. That
Oh, yeah.
one's way up there if you adjust for inflation.
Right.
For the Cruella tie in there.
Well, on these, it doesn't look like any of these are adjusted for anything. The Avatar at the top of the list. I was surprised to see number 2 at almost $2.8 billion. Avengers Endgame.
Oh,
I
you
know
were
that.
supposed. Oh, that's right. You don't go to the movies, do you?
Sure.
You know anything about
I saw
Avengers?
Did I mention I'm a crappy interviewer?
Good Lord.
They re-released Avatar just
they?
last year or 2019.
Really?
Avengers was number 1.
Uh-huh.
But they re-released Avatar
Oh.
That teachable lesson.
push it. Yeah, it was only a few $100,000 or something. So they re-released it to get to number 1 on that.
I still have to say it was interesting to watch Avatar for the first time.
It's
mescaline.
It was, yeah, right. No, but it was interesting to watch.
As I was
But,
last week.
but the thing that I thought was really kind of interesting is that there was a whole bunch of news stories coming out at that time that people were really depressed that when the movie was over they had to come back to reality, and they didn't like that. And it's like,
I know.
man, I never
We feel
felt
that
like
all the time.
I just never got quite that deep into the movie, I guess. But I thought that was a great movie.
Reality sucks.
That's the they talked about, and maybe that's kind of drifted in more recent times, but the magic of movies.
Yes.
And there is that. And Avatar was one that did that. A lot of people,
Yeah.
you kind
Really, yeah.
of
Got to give it that.
take you away.
Yeah.
That was.
They did a great job of that. I mean,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're on a planet with large blue people, and the women are somehow, even with those tails, kind of alluring.
I think it's the first Star
Speak
Wars
for
film.
yourself.
Okay,
I agree.
He was watching the guys.
Trying to placate his wife.
I'm with Randy on that one. But,
It's a hard
It's
job.
a wise thing to do.
but that first Star Wars movie too, it kind of
Yeah.
it took you away.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
more than anything. I think that was the appeal of that first Star Wars film. Is it was kind of
Yeah.
it was magical. It took you somewhere else.
Well, an old Cinerama. I mean, I know probably nobody feels this way the way
That's
I
right.
do, but 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh.
I saw that movie 12 times
Sure.
when it first came out, and I made sure I sat in the middle of the theater. And enough comments about mescaline. I saw it, and it was just mesmerizing. I mean, I got to look at every little detail of it, and Cinerama was so great because it filled your peripheral vision all the way from left to right.
Wow.
And the music, holy moly, the music was
Music is always a big.
Going back to your point about
Part of that.
Star Wars, though,
Yeah.
one of the other things that was really unusual in that is that they like Chewbacca. I mean, here's this 7-foot hairy thing that looks like it could just rip your arms right out of the socket without any trouble, and they give it a face of like a Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's just some weird little conundrums in there.
You're sounding as bad as I was last week.
George Lucas did that, and people didn't always like that. I mean, the Ewoks were. I think people were split on the Ewoks.
Yeah.
Some thought they were just too cute.
Our dog.
Tastes just like chicken.
Our dog, when she was a puppy, looked just like an Ewok.
It's all good. Well, anyway, so
And no, I think that's a good point too. That one of the things that makes a movie spectacular is the minute attention to detail that the director in particular puts into it. Lucas is famous for that. And
Yeah.
just little teeny things kind of off on the edge.
Right.
Spielberg.
Right.
Spielberg
Spielberg does it
incredible
too.
on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
I'll give you one of my favorite examples, recent examples. Tom Hanks had a movie about the
He's been in a couple of movies.
yeah about the exchange of Gary Powers. Gary Powers was
Oh, right, the spy
spy
who
guy,
was, yeah,
right, spy
shot
guy.
down.
and
Yeah.
and it's set in Berlin during the Cold War. He walks by in West Berlin. He's going from West Berlin to East Berlin. He walks by a theater, and on the marquee of the theater was the movie 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it was on the screen for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, something like that as he walked by.
Right.
1, 2, 3 was a movie of the period, and it involved an East German who had been captured by the CIA and tortured by the CIA. Played itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini over and over and over to this 23-year-old kid.
Boy, that would be scarring.
Until he broke.
That probably took, what, 20 minutes? I'm about to break just thinking about it.
But
an homage to that,
Homage.
a period movie,
Yes.
an homage to a period movie that was not a big movie even at the time.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
Yeah,
I mean-
and I mean, what, that's,
If you're
just
a, if you're a
the way you
hometown
can think
movie
that-
guy, you know this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Except for KRIM.
Yeah, and me.
Right.
But I mean, just the kind of creative mind to think that stuff up
Yeah.
is to be
Yeah.
respected.
Well, these are guys who are movie guys. I
Right.
mean, they're the real movie guys. They make them and they watch them, and they it's like Tarantino does a lot of that stuff in his movies. He has little things that one will notice if one is a movie guy. And
we call those Easter eggs.
yeah, Easter eggs.
That's right, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, well,
great.
Quentin Tarantino's sometimes
I know.
I don't know. Sometimes
little
I think he goes
precious.
almost too far.
Yeah.
He's been
too
accused. He's been
cute.
accused.
Well, like 3-hour-long movies, and
Yeah, but you were talking about guilty pleasure, man. I have to confess, Pulp Fiction is a guilty pleasure.
Pulp Fiction was great.
It
Well,
is a great movie.
it is a
Right, yeah.
great movie.
Yeah.
But once upon a time in Hollywood, he did that where there's a scene with Brad Pitt walking down the hallway, but
I
it's like
love
Brad Pitt
it.
walking down the hallway, then different camera angle, Brad Pitt walking down the hallway, different, and it was, it was a well shot scene and everything, but I don't know.
It's like his version of
You
2001:
stretch it out to
Space
like
Odyssey.
5 minutes of Brad Pitt walking down the hallway. It's like, all right, we get it. I mean, great shots.
So let me
and
get this
angles
right.
and
Brad
everything.
Pitt's walking down a hallway?
No, I loved it.
Oh,
I would have
just-
stood up for Quentin, even though I blow hot and cold on him. But he really, honestly, I love that movie. We saw that movie, and I loved it. It was absolutely brilliant, and I thought the pace of it, with Craig's caveats,
Yeah.
could have cut some of the scenes, but you just get to sit there and just watch it. And I like sometimes very, very slow movies. I've got to be the only one in Payson who's ever seen Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon. I love it.
Yes,
And
you
it's-
are.
And it's one of the slowest movies that was ever made. I loved it.
You think that perhaps you're scarred from that?
I don't think so. I think I was enhanced.
Oh, enhanced.
By
Ooh,
that.
I like
Yes.
that. Well, hey, number 3 in the list of all-time blockbuster movies, a great movie based on a true story. Although I'm sure this goes down a lot of creative storyboard avenues. But Titanic,
Oh yeah.
a great movie, and I think they did a wonderful job of telling the whole story.
Yeah.
That actually also includes this part about the ship sinking, by the way. But it was. I think it was well done.
It was.
As I think I've mentioned, but as I harped about my my dilemma with the soundtrack from that.
Yeah.
It's all about the song from Titanic, the theme song. It's all about the Kosovo War for me, because that was
Oh.
playing
Wow.
everywhere
Yeah.
when I was over there during that.
Oh my
And And
yeah.
and really, after this
Yeah.
big long odyssey working in these relief camps, and I'd go into Tirana, Albania at night. We were at this relief camp of 10,000 people. We're just outside of Tirana. I tried to break away from the camp for a little while and go into Tirana and get dinner and be walking by storefronts and hear that music coming out.
All over the place.
And so it's just it's really getting in my head as far as the war. And as I'm leaving Durrës, Albania, which is on the Sea of Marmara, and going on a ship, a 12-hour ferry ride back across the Sea of Marmara to no, it's not the Sea of Marmara. Excuse me.
That's right, it's not.
It's that's up by Istanbul.
I minored in geography.
Yeah. Well, this is
And he
anyway that
makes
big
it
hunkin'
smart.
body of water between Italy and Albania.
A body of water.
It's a body of water.
Okay.
It's like
Adriatic Sea.
Adriatic.
Adriatic
That
Sea. I
is
knew
generally referred
Yes,
to.
yes.
Makes sense.
Even I knew that.
Anyway, so we get on this ship, and it's one of these deals where you got a bunk, and it's a 12-hour ride, and it takes off at 7 in the evening, and you get in the other side at 7 in the morning, and so you go in, you bunk down for the night, and I just was still all filled with everything going on, so I went and got myself a glass with some really special filling, and was sitting up on top of the ship, just slowly watching the lights of Durrës, Albania fade over the horizon.
How
and,
romantic.
And right, yeah, all by myself. It was
And
great.
then they played the
No,
soundtrack.
right as the very last light fades over the horizon, that song comes on, and it's
Oh.
no, and it just
You still my heart.
yeah. Well, anyway, the bottom line is Titanic. I love the soundtrack. The song has nothing to do with the movie for me. It has everything to do with a lot of people dying in a car
I
accident.
had a similar and equally moving experience with the theme from Smokey and the Bandit.
I'm feeling moved, or maybe it might just be gas. I'm not sure. What? How did it? Please explain. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into it.
Oh, you tease.
There is a God.
It's too disturbing. But getting back,
Just the mention of it.
You always have kind of reminded me of Jackie Gleason, by the way.
to the moon.
Yeah, to the moon, Norton. Anyway.
When the first time I saw Titanic and it was in the theater, if I can remember correctly, there were 5 separate occasions in there which caused me to not to tear up but to cry.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they really
Yeah.
milked that one.
They did.
The greatest emotion milking movie of all time.
And this is what again?
Titanic.
Oh, Titanic.
Oh, no, it's
And the-
not.
Yeah, sure it is.
No.
And you know
I'll never let go.
the one that
No.
the one that got me the most was there's a family. There's a guy and his wife and his little girl, and the dad is putting the wife and the little girl into a lifeboat.
Right.
And of course, as we all know from history and from the movie, there were more people than there were seats in the lifeboat.
Women and children first.
Yep, and the little girl looks up at her daddy and she says, "Daddy, aren't you coming with us?" And he says, "Oh no, sweetheart, I'm gonna go in a different lifeboat for daddies only."
Oh.
And I just about died.
God, yeah.
And that's real.
And
I
that
mean,
was how it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But let's go on to the
Yeah.
let's find a fun movie.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the next number 4 in the top list of blockbuster movies, Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Not the best, but a good one.
And you guys will appreciate number 5 in the top list is Avengers: Infinity War. So there's 2
I
Avenger
can't believe
movies.
that is down so far in the list.
Well, Endgame is 2, and it was 1, like you said, and you've gone back and forth. Number 6 is, and I didn't realize this had done quite that well, coming in generating a little over $1.6 billion, Jurassic World. I knew it was big, but I didn't think it was that
Oh,
big.
yeah. That was huge.
The Lion King comes after that,
Right.
and then just the Avengers at
Did
a
you-
paltry $1.5 billion.
Did you know that the Lion King generated an Academy Award for Elton John?
I think I do remember that from the
Yeah.
Circle of Life song.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Elton John, boy.
Sir Elton John.
Yes.
So.
Then let's see, we go to the Lion King, the Avengers, then Furious 7.
There, I knew we would get to Furious by
That
and
was
by.
$1.515 billion.
Now,
Frozen.
is that the one where The Rock kicks the torpedo on the ice?
It's hard to say.
They all run together.
Another one of those, yeah, another one of those, yeah, that was a, yeah. Torpedo sliding across an ice lake and
Yeah.
they drive up next to it and he kind of puts his leg out the car door and
Right.
kicks the torpedo.
Over that way a little bit.
Yeah, nudges
Remember
it.
that. I actually, this is going to surprise you, but I actually saw that.
Oh, I was gonna say, I actually kicked a torpedo.
With 1.6 billion, nearly everyone saw it.
Well, and then, let's see here.
That's a lot of money.
Coming up next at number 10, Frozen 2. Number 11, Avengers Age of Ultron. Number
Wow,
12,
there's
Black Panther. I didn't realize.
Three Avengers,
Yeah.
four Avengers in the top
Wait, there might be
10.
more.
Oh,
Wow.
wait, there's more. Black Panther comes in at number 12. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows at number 13 at 1.342 billion. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Then Jurassic World. Frozen, the original Frozen, is number 16. Beauty and the Beast, 17. Incredibles 2. So we're talking into some of this, animated stuff as well. 18. The Fate of the Furious at 19.
Oh boy, another one.
Iron Man 3 at 20. Minions at 21.
I love Minions.
I do too.
Yeah, with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. The Captain America Civil War at 22. Aquaman 23.
Which, by the way, is an Avengers, part of the Avengers.
Syndicate.
But I mean, how many,
Syndicate, I like that.
amazing how many Avenger flicks are in the top.
Well, that was really good.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King is
No, that was a
24.
good movie.
That's
Yay,
24.
yay.
That generated $1,146,000.
Peter Jackson, the same
Yeah.
guy that used 400 gallons of fake blood in the zombie movie.
Down the list a ways at number 31, The Dark Knight Rises, a Batman flick.
Ooh.
Joker, also Batman,
Yeah.
is at 32, right next to it. 33, Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of the Skywalker. Then there's a couple of Toy Story movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, comes in at 37.
Oh, lots of Star Wars.
I was really kind of surprised. I thought that Raiders of the Lost Ark and some of those would have been a little higher up
Yeah,
on the list.
what about Gone with the Wind?
Yeah, just for inflation.
Oh,
Yeah,
true
that-
that, yeah. I mean, Gone with the Wind really would be way up there because it was
Truly.
1939.
Well, and as Craig was mentioning earlier,
Right.
I mean, there was no internet back then. There was no television back then.
People
You had to
went
go to the theater.
movies.
You know,
Oh.
there was a time when Harrison Ford, I think, was in 6 of the top 10.
Yeah.
He was in 3 Star Wars movies
Right,
and
and the
3
Raiders.
Indiana,
Right,
He was
Indiana
three
Jones.
Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and then when you get
pretty
into-
remarkable for a single actor to be in 6 top 10 movies.
And
Right.
then what was it? Patriot Games, I think it was. Was it
Oh,
Replace the
yeah,
President?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was really a well done
yeah,
film
it
too.
was
That
excellent.
wasn't in the same
Okay,
category.
so
No.
Gross, but
No,
it was
not
a,
much, I'm sure.
but
It was good
But it was a
movie.
really good movie. He also played in another Clancy movie, but was also good and very well done.
Right.
So, adjusted for inflation,
Oh,
we go through these. Avatar and Titanic on top still.
Avatar and Titanic are the top
Yeah,
two?
Avatar, Titanic.
Wow.
Number 3, E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Oh,
Really?
of course.
Number 4,
Wow.
for the first Star Wars film.
The very
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah,
which was
oh,
a really
yeah,
good movie.
Oh, I just lost it.
Oh no, it's gone!
Bring it back.
Bring it. Okay, here we go. 20 more. Lion King.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
A bit.
So, but still,
Lion King, by
they
the
say,
way, is a wonderful movie.
It was
Yeah,
a
it
great
is.
movie.
I've
I
seen that
cried.
about 3,000 times, I think.
I cried.
I cried the last 2,500 times I watched it. I'm surprised though that you're talking. These are all adjusted.
Yeah, this is with adjusting for inflation. So
But you still haven't said anything about The Sound of Music or Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind is 3-6, number 9.
Okay.
Number 9.
Adjusted for
Yeah,
inflation.
just
That
for inflation.
makes a lot of sense.
Number 10, Jaws.
Oh, of course.
Another
Boy, was that ever a
That
blockbuster
was,
back in the day.
you know what? Everybody saw that.
No.
Yeah.
Sound of Music is 12.
Okay.
Oh, that's not
Wow.
bad.
Yeah.
Right.
15, Dr. Zhivago.
Oh,
Dr. Zhivago has 16, 10 Commandments.
oh,
Yeah,
Chris
yeah,
Cat
so,
in there?
yeah.
so yeah, you get some.
Yeah,
you
no,
start to see some-
that makes sense, though. Yeah, the Ten Commandments.
And that was, Gone with the Wind was
Yeah.
number one for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
These other things are,
Right,
and a lot of what's pumping everything up now the last 20 years has been China.
yeah.
China is huge
Yeah.
on theaters, so that's a
Right.
whole new market, and there's 3
And they're
billion
not
people
gonna
in China.
they're not gonna be real interested in Gone with the Wind.
Now, but they're increasingly producing more of their own, right?
And
Well,
more
there's-
hours.
Well, there's
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
there's American films over there too, but yeah, there's a lot of movies that are making a ton of money that we've never heard of that
Right.
are just Chinese films. A little bit of a different, well, obviously a different culture there, but
Quite a bit.
they enjoy their American movies.
Mhm.
They really do. And Fast and Furious is a big one. Fast and
Yeah.
Furious is huge over there. Fast and Furious opened overseas, 163 million
Oh, my word.
opening weekend
Wow.
overseas. So
Opening weekend.
opening weekend.
Wow.
So that's still a bit low,
Did I mention I'm in the wrong line of work?
but yeah, again, it's kind of a sign that things are coming back.
Yeah.
I would say that was a good sign.
Yeah.
163 million in a
Well,
weekend.
we'll see. Fast and Furious normally would do 250 million here
Right.
opening weekend. So we're going to see, in a few weeks where that's at.
Very
And,
interesting.
it is, I think, interesting to think about. We have the new Emma Stone movie, and everybody expects it to do well. She's made 2 zombie movies, Zombieland and Zombieland 2. Both of them are just really fun, great movies that zillions of people have gone to see. I mean, they're very entertaining, very, very well done, funny, just terrific movies. But she got her Academy Award for La La Land? I think so.
La La Land, yeah, I believe, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah, she got her Academy Award for La La Land, which was a small little drama, which, as much as it was appreciated, was not widely seen. So sometimes there's just a complete and dramatic break between the best regarded movies and the most popular movies.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I mean, Hollywood likes it,
Absolutely.
and more and more lately, they like to do these little esoteric movies that are, the big winners for them.
Well, Nomadland.
Yeah, exactly.
Nomadland was not the.
And The Artist, remember, which was a silent movie. It was a black and white silent
Oh,
movie.
just,
I mean, I loved it, but it wasn't widely seen. I don't think.
Moonlight.
Yeah, right,
That one Best Picture. That was another one that.
Moonlight?
Yeah.
right.
I missed that one.
Was that, wait,
Was that the transvestite?
oh.
Oh, that's why I missed it.
Okay, I think so. Yeah. I didn't see it
Yeah,
either, but I
yeah.
believe that was it.
Eh.
So yeah, no, they tend
Sorry,
to
this
go
is a
little-
woke-free zone. You never know what we're going to say around here.
No, they tend to go a little bit different on the Academy Awards, especially lately. They have they added back with The Dark Knight. I think they added 1 or 2 movies to the Best Picture. The Dark Knight wasn't nominated for Best Picture,
Right,
and you go back and look at The Dark Knight. I think that was clearly the best film of the year. I mean, that movie was. I would say it played more like a James Bond film
Yeah.
than a superhero movie.
it was,
Batman
it was
wasn't
really good.
all over the top or anything. And the Joker was just just a
Bad
like
guy.
a crime boss, really. But I mean, crazy.
Mhm.
But yeah, that movie was just what a great movie. If you haven't watched Heath Ledger do that one,
Oh,
Yeah.
go back and watch
He
his
was
performances in there. That was just
He
amazing.
did an outstanding
And
job.
Emma Stone got an Academy Award nomination for a movie that I believe took Best Picture called Birdman.
Did that win? I don't know if it won or not.
No, it was nominated.
The
It was
Unexpected
nominated.
Virtue of
yeah.
was the full title. The Birdman, the Unexpected Virtue of Michael Keaton.
Michael
yeah,
Keaton.
Michael
yeah.
Keaton,
Wow.
right.
But anyway, I mean, we talk about esoteric movies.
Yes,
Holy smoke, was that ever esoteric?
yeah,
Uh,
right.
but the Academy loved it. not so much the billion-dollar blockbuster, however.
We're almost out of time, but here's a final question.
If we had 4 hours, we wouldn't be all
Yeah.
out of time.
That's right. If we could just stay on here all day long.
Yeah.
Anyway,
More coffee.
I'm interested to find out your
We
response.
probably could.
Bring in lunch.
Sorry, were you saying something?
I forgot what the heck my question.
We just
It's getting old, ain't for sissies. I tell you.
We rock.
What the heck was my
There's a
question?
fat man in the bathtub.
With the blues. And that wraps it up for another week here with your hometown movie guys.
We eclipsed you.
That's right.
Sorry. Sorry.
It's Friday. My brain only
It's
works
about to
Monday
be an
through
abattoir.
Tuesday. Hey, if you want
did you play our theme song?
Oh yeah, we played it twice, didn't you hear it?
No.
Oh, it was
Or
great.
if I did, I forgot.
You should. There you go. Should have been there. Anyway, if you want to check what's playing and when it's playing at the Sawmill Theaters, you can always go online to sawmilltheaters.com. They're finally getting back to a regular schedule, and man, it's an answer to prayer for the theater operators, and that the movie industry looks like they're finally getting back to close to where
Come
it
to the
was.
theater.
And make sure you go
Watch movies in
go
the
down on
theater.
Saturdays too, because the farmers market is going on out there in the parking lot. Also,
Yeah.
tomorrow morning you can donate blood. You got to go online to bloodhero.com to be able to sign up for that ahead of time. But all kinds of good things going on down there. And of course, while you're there, make sure you catch a movie, maybe grab yourself a bite to eat somewhere, and have fun down at the Sawmill Theater Complex.
Milk duds.
Birdman, the unexpected virtue of ignorance.
Woo!
That's cool.
Oh.
Well, no wonder we
I
couldn't